Kill me! I'm here! Kill me!
Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Rear Window, the 1954 classic directed by Alfred Hitchcock, which is my personal favorite of his filmography. Now, for those of you who don't know this movie, first off, where have you been? Second off, you probably don't know that you know it. Because if that makes sense, because this movie has been spoofed to death. If you've seen the Simpsons episode with the fool, where Bart's up in his room after having broken his leg, it is entirely a takeoff of this movie. The story of the movie is basically it stars Jimmy Stewart and going by James for some reason in this movie because he had to be taken seriously, obviously, because it was a Hitchcock film. Obviously, come on now. And basically, he plays a gentleman who is hobbled. He has his leg is broken and is in a cast, and he spends his days in a wheelchair. And he doesn't really leave his room too much, and he has a person come in and bring him things played by Grace Kelly, and she is basically his only contact with actual people, and the rest of his time he spent in his wheelchair with a pair of binoculars, looking out at people and kind of living vicariously through watching them have their day-to-day lives. And partway through the movie, he notices what he believes might be a crime by the gentleman across the way. He thinks that there's a dude that is over there, and he thinks he may have murdered his wife. And from there, it's all about him trying to figure out if his suspicions are correct, him trying to decide what to do about it, and it just basically it goes from there. And the thing that I love so much about this movie is just the tension of it. It's so palpable throughout this entire movie, where there's so many moments where you're watching it as a audience member, and you're like, ooh, and like there's a moment, and I'm not gonna say too much about it because, as always, I don't like to spoil films, but basically it involves something like this happening, and it is creepy. I mean, it just completely gets to you. If you're watching this movie and you're not dead inside, you should have the adrenaline pumping. And I remember when I watched it the first time, the hairs on my arms were like, pew! I mean, it is just so spellbinding, I should say. And it's just such a great movie. And the performances are really spectacular. The fact that Jimmy Stewart is, he's given a performance, and he has to spend the entire film in a chair, pretty much, and that obviously would limit an actor. It would make it so he can't get up and walk around the room in order to try to communicate his frustration in a moment, or start pacing or anything like that. He has to develop a fully functional character all through basically dialogue and facial expressions, and he just does such a fantastic job. And by this end of this movie, you empathize with what he's going through, and you so feel like you're there with him, and you don't like the entire time out you're watching this movie. At least I did when I watched it. You're like thinking, oh, what would I do with that scenario? And it's really interesting because there's this voyeuristic feel to it, because like I said, he spends a good portion of the movie watching other people in moments where they are unawares they're being observed, and so you have there's all these all this emotion that you feel for him on all these different kinds of levels, and it's just such a fully fleshed out character. And then Grace Kelly, of course, I mean, just such a gorgeous woman, and such a rock of acting. I mean, like, she's just so talented and so elegant, and at the same time, she just works perfectly for this role of this woman who kind of comes in and out of this guy's world, and brings some lightness to it, but at the same time is kind of gets down and dirty with him as well by the end. And it's just such a great, there's just a great chemistry between the two of them, and they really light the screen up whenever they're together. And this movie to me is just an amazing, amazing film. So those are my thoughts on Rear Window. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. If you've seen it, if you're a Hitchcock fan, what's your favorite? I'm thinking I might review some more Hitchcock in the future. And please hit that like button. It does awesome things for my channel. It makes it much more possible that other people will have it show up in their recommended thing, and which really makes a big, big difference, because it'll bring in people that hopefully may not have, it will hopefully bring in people that may not have discovered my channel otherwise. And I really am passionate about talking to people about film, so it means the world to me when new people come in. And if you are one of those people, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you know when I put out new videos. You can come, let me know what your thoughts are. It would absolutely mean the world to me. Other than that, have yourself a great day.